Okay, salam alaikum. This is video 4. Okay, as I said, you know, in the Catholic Church started all this bullshit. It wasn't white women or white people, none of that. You know, so don't take it personal, white women, white men, when I'm talking, because I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the Vatican, this system of injustice, okay, that they established, okay, how they wanted you to perceive, you know, people that look like me, okay, okay, they want, and how that perception, you know, creates, okay, misunderstanding and oppression and abuse, okay, out of ignorance, okay, so, yeah, black women were seen as the muse of the world, okay, and seen as crazy when they tried to see themselves in a godly way, a manner of divinity, okay. Now, because we have, and they've been perceived as the mule of the world because we've been handed the burdens that everyone else, cleaning their house, raising their children, the lowest paying jobs, kind of like the untouchables, as I said, in India, right, who do the dirtiest jobs, and so dirty you don't even want to touch, you don't even want to touch them for fear of the sin that is emitted from them, right? Excuse me. Okay, so they've been given the burdens everyone else refuses to carry. We have also been called matriarchs, superwomen, and mean and evil bitches, right? Okay, because why? Why they call black women evil bitches? Okay, and their strength representing masculine, supposed to be reflected as masculinity, right? Right. Because they don't want any woman to act, to stand in her dignity, okay, in her divine position as a woman, reflecting femininity, okay. Now, yes, I have said that the Queen of Queens represents femininity, divine femininity, okay. She represents all that is female, yes, but a woman of in any aspect also represents the mother. She represents the divine she represents the divine feminine, as with, you know, let's say a person who has Christ-like consciousness, they represent Christ, right? So all women represent the divine mother or divine femininity just by being a reflection of her, let's say, being a child of her, right? Being of her, okay? So they all reflect that, okay? But as I said, you know, you have to have the divine feminine in order to maintain the existence of humanity, because we can't all be all humanity, everyone can't be maxed out, right? Or humanity will go to what? Into extinction, right? Okay. So okay. So she's also been seen as a matriarch or superwoman, or mean evil bitches, right? Now, as I said, why mean evil bitches? Because what? They're strong. They when they speak, their voice is strong. They have, you know, no fear. You know, they know that what? The divine, there's only one divine, and that's God, right? That's the creator. That's Allah, right? So, and Allah says fear only Him, right? They shouldn't have to fear their husband. They know what's right and wrong. That's not to say that they don't. That's not to say that, you know, black women don't love. No, black women love very deeply, very passionately, very strongly. That's why many black men still, no, let's go. That's why many men, you know, desire them, you know, for their strong, intense, you know, passion, you know, which is projected through their physical, you know, energy, you know, which is projected through their physical strength, right? So, And then they stand in that dignity because they know what's right and wrong. You know, they know, like they said, like it said, they know when to be soft and they know when to be strong. Just like, you know, when you think of Allah, you know, Allah knows when to treat a human being gentle, and He knows when to be rough with that human being. When Allah is being gentle and merciful, that's like, you know, the gentle side of Allah, which is reflected as a female, but it's still Allah, but it's merciful, it's kind, it's gentle. It's like, you know, as it is reflected in the female, you know, when He's being strong and, you know, you know, and let's say when He's being strong and chastising the individual, punishing a person, then they see that as, oh, that would be the masculine side. That would be the masculine side. Okay? When He's strong and, you know, punishing the person. Okay? That would be the masculine side. Okay? So, when a woman is strong, okay, because she also represents Allah. You know, a woman represents Him too, because He created her. Okay? So she knows when to be strong and she knows when to be, that's not to say she God. I'm not saying she Allah. I'm never saying that. I'd never say that. But I'm saying she represents that merciful. She represents the beauty that is merciful, that is mercy. Okay? No, she represents the beauty that is mercy. The mercy of Allah. That I won't say sense, that mercy, I'll just leave it at that. That mercy, that is Allah. She represents that mercy. Okay? Because mercy, everything that's beautiful, no, I won't go there. But everything, you know, that mercy, what, you know, is reflected by the female. Okay? So, so the black woman represents that, the universal feminine, okay? The universal softness, the universal mercy, but it's still powerful. It's still powerful. Mercy is powerful. So, those, you know, like, you know, the blue bloods, the Zionists, you know, the ones who started the commercial, you know, this commercial bullshit. Because in the past, a man didn't mind if his woman was strong when he was working on the when he was working in the fields, when he lived off the land. He needed a strong woman. You know, he needed a woman that was in control of herself. You know, but when you started this industrial revolution, and then it was like, you know, no, you don't need the family structure. Well, no, we won't go to family structure, but it was like, no, you don't know. A woman don't need to be strong. She needs to stay home and have babies. Okay? And the man's the king of the castle. So you don't need no strong woman. A strong woman is like, so therefore, she's a bitch, right? And the black woman still got to work hard, okay? Because even though, in many cases, you know, especially in the past, like before the 60s, you know, and the early 70s, you know, the black families were still united, right? They weren't as divided as now, right? The commercial, you know, world didn't divide them, right? Making the black man think he needed anything but a black woman, right? Anything, you know? Even a pet rabbit would be better than a black woman, right? So, you know, the black family stayed together, you know, and you know, it was hard for both of them to work together, you know, because the jobs, you know, for black men were very low paying, you know, jobs as well. Very, not only low paying, but they were, you know, the jobs nobody wanted. No, white men didn't generally want. White men didn't want to clean somebody else's, you know, toilet. They didn't want to be custodians and you know, they didn't want to do let's say untouchable jobs that were given to black men, right? So black men and black women stayed together when the market was when the commercial world disenfranchised both of them to the worst degree, right? So he needed that woman to be strong. Now the black woman is many of them are head of households, and to no will of their own, because I'm certain, 100% certain, that when they making that baby, he's making commitments to stay home. I mean, not to stay home as in be a stay-home dad, no, but to be, faithful to that black woman, whom he made that black woman with. Excuse me, whom he made that black baby with, that beautiful black baby with. But and I'm not saying this is all black men, and I'm not bashing black men, but I'm just telling you how we're being brainwashed that the black woman is no good, to the point where even the black man is supposed to be turned against her. And in the commercials, it's showing the family now consists of a black man and a white woman. That's supposed to be the new norm, right? Whereby every other nationality in the world, Mexican married woman, man. Now Mexican men do marry white women, black women, and other women, Chinese women, or whatever. But they don't make it it's not made into a policy, a business policy. It's not a business arrangement, whereby every commercial you see, that shows a family that's to have a black person, and it's to be a black man and a white woman, which is only done to reinforce the issue that a black woman is to be seen as the mule of the world. She's to be seen as an evil, masculine, like bitch woman kind of thing, and to further, deter, the unity of the black family, So that's what it's to do, destroy the black family. Why? To destroy the potential of a queen of queens and a king of kings from elevating, maintaining the longevity of humanity, consciously, physically, or otherwise. Okay, it's done to the detriment of all humanity, but it's done to cut the black woman off, right? That would be chopping the tree off, right? To cut the black woman off is to chop the tree, because what? The seed of the woman, right? The spiritual seed of the woman, right? The spiritual seed comes from the woman, right? So cut the woman who's the woman, Masari El Madunya. Cut that root off, cut off the tree of humanity. Then all humanity, what? It dies, or it's going to die. It's going to die, because it's going to max itself out when it comes to longevity, right? Because if the black woman is gone, okay, then who is going to regenerate humanity? So that's why it's done. It's not because she's ugly or she's black or anything. It's a spiritual war. And to attack the black woman is to attack humanity. Right? Because in the past, what did it take to become a Jew? To be born of a black woman, to be born of the mother, right? It came from the mother. The spiritual seed came from the mother, right? Not from the father, right? Because they say, what? Daddy's maybe and mama's baby. Always daddy's maybe and mama's baby. When it comes to ambiguity of the paternity of the child. So that's why they're seen as the mule of the world. That's why they're held in that position, and that's why all other women they attempt to promote all other women above them as beautiful, and black women are to follow that lead and step outside of their beauty and follow that suit of being seen as to be seen, to be acceptable, for their beauty to be acceptable, it must be seen through the eyes of, it must be seen from the perception of the commercial's value of beauty, and that is no ass, no breasts, no lips, no small waist, none of that, nothing that represents a universal mother. She's to have that straight boy figure on the waist and flat ass, no lips and no breast. You know, anything that looks like, you know, what they call a model, right? A model woman, right? A model woman, right? Anything that looks like a model woman, right? That walks the runway, right? And anything outside of a size 4, okay, is to be unattractive. And of course, many black women are not size 4s, right? Or size 2, okay? Or size 0, 00, and all that, right? Okay. So it's a game on all women, but especially black women. It's an attack on all women, but especially black women, who are to see themselves as the commercial world sees them, as was projected by, you know, the structure of, you know, commercial life, right? As it relates to its standards of acceptable beauty, right? Okay, and the mules of the world, right? Okay, so black women are called in folklore, in the folklore that so aptly identifies one's status in society. The mule of the world, that's be the acceptable standard, right? Oh, let's go back here. Okay, no, go back here. You know, as I said, it's okay. You know, well, it's okay. It's natural. It's nature. You know, that, you know, people you know, culturally wed. We're humans, right? We can do that. We should do that, especially when we start to max out on the spectrum of age as it relates to humanity and longevity. We have to do that, right? To maintain this, to maintain life of our species, human species, right? But you don't see Mexican men going. You don't see Mexican. The market, the media projecting Mexican men, you know, the majority of Mexican men going after other women other than their race, taking care of other women other than the women of their culture, you know, because there's only one race. But you don't see Mexican men, you know, taking care of and, you know, providing for, you know, other women of other cultures. You don't see white men, you know, the majority. We're talking about majority because there are white men who you know, who marry outside of their culture. And again, that's very natural and it should be that way. But the majority don't, you know, the media doesn't project the majority of them always when they, you know, when they, you know, in the media, they don't project, you know, white men always, you know, with black women or any other woman but a white woman, you know, because they want to maintain that culture, you know, but you don't see them, you know, providing for and protecting, you know, leaving their culture, you know, to extinction, you know. You don't see that. But in the African race, when it comes to the African, not race, but when it comes to the African culture, you know, despite how beautiful and rich, you know, African culture is the richest culture in the history of the world, right? It is the history of the world. But you don't see, but you see in the media, always the media is trying to project the African men of the African culture. You know, the media always projects them with anything but a black woman, you know, providing for and protecting anything but a black woman, you know, and that is becoming very, very prominent in the media. You know, realistically, it's not the dominant case because in Africa, all of Africa. You can't do that. No, you can't do that in Africa, right? That's not done in Africa because Africa is the motherland, right? So they imagine that. If in Africa, the motherland, they try to do that, right? Project, the African as, the African male, you know, protecting, you know, anything but the mother of humanity. That wouldn't it wouldn't be pliable. It would be impossible to project that. So it's not a norm in the world. It's just a norm in the media. That's what I'm trying to say. But it's done so that it can be very popular and to break down the human race, starting with the African culture, right? So many and many black women, especially in America, find it very challenging to, and many of them desire to be, in a relationship to maintain their culture, and longevity of their descendants, But it's difficult to do that when the media is attempting to brainwash, black males and little black boys, that they should be with anything other than their culture, deny themselves. That goes against, what is that? Contrary instincts. They're trying to teach them contrary instincts, go against their greater good. They're trying to teach humanity contrary instincts, go against, their greater, go against their nature. Go against their nature, Now again, humanity, it is the nature to, to integrate. We have to integrate culturally. We have to. That's not to say, we can never, we have to all marry within our culture. No, we don't. And my family is very integrated. I have, a European nephews, American, Euro-American, just like African-American. I have Euro-American in my family, as nephews, as nieces, as sister-in-laws. They're Euro-American. So integration is, but I also have, African, Cuban, but I have a large family too, 11 brothers and sisters, So collectively 11 brothers and sisters. So there's a wide range of cultural diversity in my family. So I'm not saying that, it shouldn't happen, but it shouldn't be portrayed as something that, it shouldn't be portrayed as it shouldn't be portrayed as something that must be done because, one race, one culture is evil, or one culture is ugly, or evil bitches, right? That's what I'm saying. It shouldn't be done as a means to cause extinction of one sect of humanity. Okay, as what's trying to do with the black woman, that's basically take her into extinction, right? By doing that, all of humanity goes into extinction, right? Okay, because she is the foundation, right? She's the foundation of humanity, So, and as I said, you can't have a king of kings without having a queen of queens. You can't have humanity without having, your roots. You can't have your roots. You can't have humanity without having your roots. So we're going to go to video 5. Assalamu alaikum.